Welcome to the Watchdog Report. My name is Ed Ciffone, Yorktown Watchdog and President of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown. The reason why we call the United Taxpayers of Yorktown is because we give information how to save you on taxes. And this is what the show is going to be today. So let me just start off really quick by saying, go to the assessor's office in your local city, town, village. Of course, you can save money on town, school, county taxes, and I'm going to tell you how. So listen very carefully, and if you have any problems with what we say here today, go to the assessor's office, ask them what your requirements are to save taxes. So first I'm going to start off with the senior exemption. Now, a senior exemption, some of the qualifications is that you're owning a house and you're over 65 years old and you make less than $37,399. It all depends on your school district, your town, and your county. Now, you can save up to 50% of your taxes on those taxes that you have to pay by being under 29,000. So now we have a range, 29,000, almost a poverty level to live in Westchester County, to 37,399. So just think about how it's prorated. The more income that you make, the less of a percentage is taken off your taxes. So if you're under the 29,000, it's 50% off all those taxes, okay? And at the high level, it's 5%, okay? Now that's a senior exemption. Go to the assessor's office, those of you over 65 and have that low income. That's number one. I'm going to say this over and over again. Now the STAR program. Now the STAR program is for everybody. It's for everybody, okay? Now the basic is there's no limit. I should say there is a limit on basic. $500,000. You make less than $500,000, you can get the STAR program basic. Those of you over 65, the enhanced, okay? If you make less than $79,050, you can get the enhanced. And how do you do that? You look at your federal income tax form, you look at line 37 and you minus line 15B, and that's your adjustable income, okay? If it's under $79,050. So listen, folks, I'm going to tell you again, you have a lot of benefits out there if you're seniors and if you own homes and property. Now, today I'm going to introduce my guest, Bobbi Ann Cox. Bobbi, I want to thank you for coming again.
Thank you, Ed.
And you're going to have a special way of saving money because of these times that are happening today. Yeah. So first give me a little bit about yourself and then we'll tell you how you can save money.
Okay, great.
All right?
Yes, I want to thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want to thank our producer, Dennis Tate. And so about myself, I'm an attorney and I've been practicing law for about 15 years. And my specialty is real estate law. And that is real estate transactions, people buying and selling properties, leasing properties, and property tax grievances, also called property tax certiorari. So those are my main focuses.
Now I remember you here last time, so it's a family business. Was it about 50 years or more?
Yes.
I know. And the last time, I think you had one child. I can't remember. You have two now.
I have two now, yes.
That's great. That's great.
So I do work with my family's company,
yeah.
Flower Property Tax Consultants.
Okay.
And my father founded the company. He's been in business over 50 years.
Oh, okay.
So something we're very proud of. And he's still working in the company today.
Okay.
And we basically are a pretty unique outfit because our company has in-house attorney, which is me, in-house appraisers that are both certified residential appraisers and certified general appraisers. And we basically have a very well-oiled machine going. If anybody is interested in lowering their property taxes, aside from the STAR programs that you just explained, they can give us a call, and we will do a complimentary analysis. So there's no charge to the owner of the property, and we'll let them know if we can help them get their property taxes lower.
How do you do that right away now? Do you look at other homes or in the area, or do you describe it by square footage, or how does that work?
Right. Well, it depends. Residential property versus commercial property, because we do grieve taxes for both.
Oh, okay.
We do
Great.
both commercial properties and residential. So there are different techniques to figure out if a property, residential versus commercial, has a case for a reduction. But we screen all our prospective clients to make sure there is room for a reduction. We don't just take clients in, because we work on a contingency fee.
Okay.
So the owner only pays us if we are successful at the end of the process, and our fee is a percentage of the taxes that we save them.
Is that for the first year?
On residential, yes. On residential, our fee is 55% of the first year's tax dollar savings.
Okay.
After the first year, the homeowner keeps 100% of the savings.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah. And then commercial, it's the standard 33 1/3%.
So people could save thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
By making a phone call to you.
By making a phone call,
And what's that number?
It's 914-779-7762.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I want to get that in, because it's so much easier to do that, to make a call and see if you're eligible.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't hurt anything to do that.
No, absolutely.
And why not do it to see if you can save some money,
Absolutely, absolutely. Today it's very hard for people to live in Westchester with rising cost of living, and especially the taxes, because Westchester County is now the highest taxed county in the country when it comes to property taxes. So
yeah, Yorktown saved 2% on their county taxes this time.
Right, county taxes, right.
For Yorktown.
Right. The current administration countywide has been trying to lower the county tax
but we're still labeled the highest tax county in the nation.
Yeah, meaning, and when I say that, I don't mean the county taxes, I mean all of your taxes.
The taxes together.
Right, your city tax, your school tax, your county, everything combined, yeah.
So reducing the value of your home by grievance or certiorari, what you call it, right? It can reduce all those taxes.
Right. Well, we don't reduce the value of the home. We actually increase the value. If we lower your taxes, the value of your home is going to increase. Because if you think about it, let's say you're on the market to buy a new house, and you're looking at houses in the $500,000 range, and you see one house that you like, and the taxes on that house are, let's say, $12,000 a year. And then in the neighborhood next to that, you see a house about the same price, $500,000, let's say, but the taxes on that house are $17,000 a year. Most likely, you're going to go for the house that has the $12,000 a year taxes, because when people buy a home, the first thing they look at is how much does it cost? What is the purchase price? The second thing they look at is what are the taxes? Because every month when you're paying your mortgage, you're also paying your taxes.
Oh, so if a person moves into someone's house that's been already reduced in taxes, it stays.
Yes.
They don't have to file.
Right. Right.
Oh, that's
it's not like
that's
Star.
Great. Oh, right.
Right, where you have to apply once you own the house, and then if you move, then the next owner has to reapply for the Star. It's not like that. With the grievances, yes, once we reduce the assessment on the house and the taxes are lower, it's even if you sell the house, the assessment stays at that level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that is a big benefit to people who want to get out of Westchester. That's number one, or trying to stay in Westchester, number two,
Right, absolutely.
So what happens if you do the next step? Say the person you think can save some money.
Right.
What's your next step?
So then our next step, once they've phoned in, we do an analysis. It's free of charge. We say, yes, they do have a case for a reduction. They sign the papers to authorize us to proceed, and we start the filing process. Now, every town or city in Westchester or Putnam or wherever you are in New York has a specific filing period. So, for example, June 1st is most of the towns in Westchester.
That would be Yorktown?
Including Yorktown,
okay.
Yep. And the grievance period opens June 1st. Some cities also, Mount Vernon, for example, June 1st filing period. Okay. New Rochelle, for example. But not everybody does grieve in June. A lot of villages grieve in February. And some cities vary. Yonkers grieves in November. White Plains grieves in January. So you have to be mindful of
so when
where
a person
you live
calls you, you'll know, and you'll tell them when
yes.
the grievance thing. Now,
Yes,
now if your town starts in June 1st, or how many weeks do they get to file, or is there a closing period after that?
Yes, yes,
Oh, okay.
Good question, yes. So June 1st opens the for example, in Yorktown.
Okay.
June 1st opens the filing period, and then you have 3 weeks to put your papers in, and the third Tuesday of June would be the last day you can grieve. Okay. So if you miss that window for any municipality, whether it's a city or a town or a village,
right.
If you miss that window of grievance, you'll have to wait till the following year before you can grieve again. So it's time sensitive.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you're talking about the assessor's office, right? Do you have to go to the assessor's office? That's who you deal with, or do you?
Yes.
That's where you start with anyway.
Yes, that's where you start, exactly.
Okay, so the assessor could say, okay, it's a done deal because this is what happened before. That person, well, explain to me what.
Yeah, let me explain it. It's
what
a little
the options
bit.
are. Yeah. Okay.
It's a little bit tricky. So the way that the law is written in New York State, for grieving either a commercial or a residential property, you first have to submit your paperwork to, it's called the Board of Assessment Review. So each municipality has its own Board of Assessment Review if they have their own tax roll.
Oh, I have the list of those people, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember somewhere up north, those same assess group, you want to call them?
The Board of Assessment
The Board of
Review?
Assessment,
Yes,
okay, they
yes.
reviewed their own places.
Oh, okay.
And reduced the taxes.
Okay.
So they should all have been in jail. I don't know what happened to them. But that's, that could happen, and that happened already.
Yeah.
So I know we have a lot of people on it. I think there's 6 people in Yorktown on that Board of Assessment. Okay.
Yes. So they have their period where they look at everybody's complaint and they go through the paperwork.
Does that have to go to that committee first, or can the assessor take care of it?
Not during the grievance period.
Not during the grievance, okay.
Once there's a grievance period, once you're in the filing period and you submit your complaint to the Board of Assessment Review, the board needs to look at it. Okay. Yes. And then they issue their decision. Either they will give you some reduction, they won't give you any reduction, and from there we do an appeal. If we don't get the reduction that we think is just, we will file an appeal with the court.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that part of your 55% of the...
For the residential, yes.
Oh, it's nothing extra to go to court?
We don't charge additional to go to court. It is included in our, we call it a contingency fee. It's contingent upon our success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yes.
And you've done that before. So where does this court reside? Where is that? In White Plains?
Yes, for Westchester County, it is in White Plains.
Okay.
Yes, the residential cases are handled in the SCAR part, which is Small Claims Assessment Review part of the court. And the commercial properties are handled in it's called the tax certiorari part. So 2 different parts of the court, but yes, they both sit in White Plains for Westchester County.
Yeah, because I know when people grieve the businesses, it doesn't seem like there's anyone to stop them from getting their tax reductions. I don't see the town going after, or the school going after these people. It's just that you get a notice from, I guess, there in White Plains that the school district or the town or the village has to pay this reduction.
Yes. Well, with the commercial properties, it's handled through the tax certiorari part. separate judges in each part, and
I think in the Yorktown School District, about $2 million over the last 5 years.
Right.
So that's a lot of reduction.
Right. Well, there's
and then who picks it up is the other taxpayers.
Right. Well, it's kind of you know, a chicken and egg situation. If the municipalities balance their budgets without raising the tax rate per thousand, whereby raising the property taxes, then there probably wouldn't be that much grieving going on. So it's a chicken and egg situation, you know.
But like you said, it's foolish not to inquire.
Right. Okay. I mean, for people watching your show, you know, our information will be posted on the screen. Call us. It's a simple phone call away. You know, maybe it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes for us to get the information from you over the phone, and it's a complimentary analysis. So there's really no risk to the homeowner or the property owner to give us a call and see if they have a case for lower taxes.
Well, that's great. So on a percentage of reductions, do you have you know, like out of 100%? How you guys doing? You know?
Oh, right. Our success rate? Yes.
Right.
We have an excellent success rate. I'd say it's close to 100% because, like I said, we do an analysis before we even take the client on.
Oh, right.
And we want to make sure that our client has a case. You know, we don't want to just accept people and say, we'll try and lower your taxes, and then find out later, well, they didn't really have a case to begin with, because you know, it gets the property owner's expectations up, and it raises their hopes, and we end up working for free if we can't get a reduction, and it would mar our reputation with the assessors and the courts, and so we don't do that. We do the screening first and make sure you have a case before we take you on as a client.
Well, that's why I've tried to tell people the assessor's office is that's the spot to go to if you have any questions about anything. Right. About your taxes.
Yeah.
And make sure you ask at least 3 times your question, because you want to get the right answer, you know?
Right.
And look, so many people have left New York because New York is probably the highest taxes also in the United States, New York, you know, in their taxes. Does any of these new laws affect these grievances lately? You know, when new Governor Cuomo in there, he makes a lot of new laws that are going. Right. Mandates, you want to call them.
Right. Well, what affects the grieving really is the raise in the tax rate per thousand. So if a town or a city or a village needs more money to balance their budget and be able to pay their bills, they're going to raise the tax rate per thousand for the property taxes, which means your taxes will go up. So when people see that their taxes are going up again and again and again, a lot of times the tax increase in people's property taxes is greater than the rate of inflation. People are stuck. You know, they're not making more money. It's just, what do they do? They can't afford to stay in their home if their taxes get out of control and their salaries or their income is not raising at the same rate. So it is, I do see a lot. I also do real estate closings, and I do see a lot of people selling in Westchester and moving out of the state, a lot of times to Connecticut, sometimes to New Jersey, because they're looking for the lower taxes. So.
My mother-in-law passed away, so now we inherited a house in the Bills, you know, in Pennsylvania. So it's really different there than
I'm sure.
than New York. So,
I'm sure.
But that's another thing. When somebody dies, then you have to assess, see if you're going to sell it or keep it or what have you. So I'm at that point myself, and we have to fix the house up. So
fix it up and sell it, or sell it as it is.
Right, and we don't know if it's going to be good because of the economics, what's going on in the country.
Right.
So we're just on that. So
in that case, a lot of times the people inheriting the home would hire an appraiser to have an appraisal done for estate purposes and see what is this worth. And
right, that's what we did, yeah.
Yes, yeah, we have in-house appraisers in our office as well, so they do that type of work as well.
Oh, okay, because that was a shocker, you know. She was over 100 years old.
Wow, oh,
so,
wow.
You know, she never wanted to get rid of the house,
oh.
you know, and sell it while she was alive,
right,
because she loved it back and forth. So that's what we're in that position now. So you know, the county's, I think, around 20%. The town's around 20%. The school's somewhere near 70%.
Yeah, school's high.
Something like 15 and 70%.
Yes.
So that's a lot of tax reduction and money you don't have to pay if you qualify.
Yes.
Because
the school taxes generally are the bulk of anybody's taxes.
See, with the new 2% cap, I was never for it because this is what the school systems are doing now. They're taxing people up to the cap, even though if they don't need it. If it was 4%, they would tax you to 4%, okay? And now what's happening in the school districts and everywhere, the state is giving the school districts more money in state aid. Okay, that's what Governor Cuomo did. They thought they were going to get less, they got more. Do you think they reduced the taxes? No, they increased the spending.
Yeah.
If this happens, we need this money. If this happens,
right.
It's, you know, I go to these meetings.
Right.
So
well, when we grieve the taxes, we do grieve all portions of your tax. So let's say there's a house in Yorktown, for example. You're in the town of Yorktown, so we grieve those taxes with the town. We're also grieving the county taxes at the same time, and we grieve the school taxes at the same time. So we do, when we get a reduction on a property for an owner, we are getting a reduction in all those areas.
Wow,
the town, the county, the school. And some people live or have a property in a village as well. For example, Dobbs Ferry is a village within the town of Greenburgh. Within the county of Westchester. So we do get all those layers, all those facets when we do our grievances.
Well, that's great. I know you say you almost have 100% of getting people back some money or a reduction in taxes.
Yes.
People out there, they must attempt to do something.
Absolutely.
Now, this is really crazy. You can't tell people because they're going to say, well, somebody's going to come to my house and look at it. I'm going to be paying more than that. So you don't have anything to do with that part.
Well, we screen our prospective customers. So if I think somebody's taxes are where they should be, or maybe even a little bit lower than where they should be, then I tell them, oh, we can't help you get your taxes any lower. So that is a very common question that I get from people. If we grieve the taxes and they're where they should be now, could they end up being higher as a result of grieving the taxes? And my answer is no, because the main reason is because, again, we screen beforehand and we say, yes, we can help you. No, we can't. You know, it's right up front, we'll tell you, because again, we don't want to waste our time, waste the owner's time, and we don't want to damage our reputation. We've been in the business over 50 years now, so.
So if you think it's possible, do you send one of your relatives up to look at the house, or you just take it from the phone?
For the preliminary analysis, we do it over the phone, and then if we do end up going to trial, yes, we go to the house and we do photographs and a formal appraisal is done and stuff like that. So yes, but we try and make it as easy as possible for the property
if someone
owner.
calls you personally, you may have to go through all those stages, even in court. Do you do that, or does it?
I do. I'm the attorney in our office, and I do for Westchester County and some of Putnam. I personally do the grievances. So yes, I do go through each of those steps. A lot of times, I tell people, you know, if I speak to a group of realtors or I speak to a group of homeowners in a community, I say, look, if you have a question, pick up the phone, give me a call. I'm happy to answer your questions, even if you're not a current client or you're contemplating becoming a client, or just ask me the question. Our doors are open, our phones are open. We actually have 2 phone lines. You can also call 914-779-6299. That's another one of our phone numbers. So it's definitely a helpful tool.
Did you change addresses?
We just moved, yes.
That's I got an email from. That's right, you just moved. Okay.
Yes. We're still in Bronxville, and we're still on Palmer Avenue. We're just a little bit down the block, so we're actually now street level. You can walk right in off the street, and
okay. So that's another question. Since you go to the customer really doesn't have to come to you. Okay.
No,
right.
they don't.
They don't.
Right?
So that's another savings.
Yes, a lot of the transaction is done. I can mail them papers. They can mail me something. I can fax them something. They can fax me something. Email.
Right.
So a lot of times our customers don't even need to get in the car and come in. It's just not necessary. So it's a very easy process for the property owner.
Well, that's great. I'm hoping that the people that watch the show passes on the information.
Absolutely.
So if they have a problem with your number, if they don't get it, mine's been on for like 7 years now.
Yes.
They can call me at 245-1018, and I'll refer them to you, and that's great. Yeah.
Excellent.
So it's great going out there, seeing the people's homes. A lot of times now they're not doing anything to their homes because they can't afford to fix it up. So does that have another thing on it? Like if you have a new home and they're paying high taxes, you can see the assessment lower because it's a new home. But how about somebody who was in a home for like 50 years? Do they have a benefit? Do you see more of those or less of those people?
Well, actually, it depends. Every house, every commercial property is unique. So it's a little bit of a difficult question to answer, but sometimes you will see older homes from the early, 1920s, 1930s, that they've never grieved their taxes, and if they're in a municipality that's not at a 100% ratio, then they don't even think, or maybe they don't even know that they can grieve their taxes. So a lot of times those houses will have higher taxes, but you can see it with new homes too. I mean, I've absolutely grieved taxes for homes that are just a few years old, and it doesn't really depend on the age of the home.
Okay, so give me like 30 seconds looking at that camera again. Just a little more about yourself, where you're located, your telephone number and stuff like that, so people can get it, okay?
Okay, great. Yes, my name is Bobbi Ann Cox. I'm an attorney, and I specialize in property tax grievances and real estate closings. My telephone number, 914-779-7762. And my website is www.coxlawyers.com. I work in conjunction also with my family company, Flower Property Tax Consultants. And we are based in Bronxville, New York, and we do cover all of Westchester and Putnam counties for residential properties, and we cover all over New York for commercial.
Thank you, Bobbi Ann.
Okay.
So that should do it. So listen, I got to close up now. Thanks for watching, folks. Now, that was Bobbi Ann Cox. She gave you all the information. Use your head, give her a call, and see if it's worth it to reduce your taxes. And also remember to see the exemptions and the STAR program, and visit your assessor's office. That's important, because your income and could base on lowering your taxes. Thank you and good night.